Hey everyone. Keeping up with all the new AI stuff can feel like, drinking from a fire hose, right?
Yeah.
Especially all these large language models. It seems like every day there's a new one.
Yeah, totally.
So today,
Yeah.
we're doing a deep dive on something that I think is going to be a really big deal for businesses especially, and that's IBM's new Granite models.
Okay.
We're going to go beyond the hype and really dig into what makes these models different and, useful,
Oh,
especially for an enterprise setting.
okay.
So, I was looking through the research that you sent over, and it seems like IBM is really emphasizing three major things with these Granite models: performance, trustworthiness, and cost effectiveness. Which,
Those are all music to any business leader's ears.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So before we get too far,
Yeah.
can you just give us a quick explanation of what Granite foundation models actually are?
So, I think the easiest way to think about it is imagine like a super, super smart AI system that's been trained on just a massive, massive amount of data.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And that's what a foundation model is at its core. It can already kind of understand language, code, even things like time series data,
Oh, interesting.
which is basically just information that's collected over a period of time. So think, stock prices, sales figures, things like that.
Okay.
And what makes these foundation models so powerful is that they're incredibly adaptable. You can use them for a ton of different tasks.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife of AI tools.
Yeah.
But, one of the articles that you sent mentioned that there are, like, hundreds of thousands of these LLMs out there already. So why should we even care about IBM's approach? What makes Granite different from all the rest?
Yeah, you're right. The AI landscape it's very crowded.
Yes.
Lots of different options, lots of different companies doing things. I think what makes IBM's approach unique is that laser focus on the specific needs of businesses. They knew that these were tools that were going to be used by companies to try to improve what they're doing. And so those three pillars we talked about, right? Performance, trust, and cost effectiveness. Those were central to how they designed and built the Granite models.
Got it.
They knew that those were the things that would resonate with companies who are looking to use AI effectively.
Okay, so let's break those down a little bit, starting with performance. I mean, that's kind of a broad term, right?
Yep.
What does that actually mean in real-world terms for a business user?
So, yeah, for a business user, performance boils down to like speed and efficiency.
Right.
Can you analyze your customer data faster? Can you get insights from all of the information that your business is collecting more quickly?
Okay.
And IBM really focused on making sure that these Granite models could deliver on that front.
So can you give me an example of that? Like how is that actually implemented?
Yeah, so one example is actually think about AI-powered searches,
Okay.
right? Those have obviously become really popular. Everybody's using them.
Totally.
But they can consume a lot of energy, like significantly more energy than a regular search.
Oh, interesting.
Like we're talking like 4 times as much energy.
Wow.
And that's a cost that a lot of companies don't necessarily think about upfront.
Right, yeah. Hidden costs.
Exactly, hidden costs. So IBM actually, they tackled this head on when they were developing Granite. They utilized a specific compression technique during the training process that reduces the model size significantly.
Oh, wow.
So these models they're faster, they're less energy intensive, but they don't compromise on performance.
So they're more cost effective in the long run.
Exactly.
That's great.
And that's something that I think a lot of businesses are really going to appreciate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that leads us nicely into our next pillar, which is trust.
Yeah.
And,
Huge one.
especially in the AI world,
Yeah.
this is a really big deal right now.
Right.
So in your view, why is trust so critical, particularly right now in this moment?
Well, I mean, you think about all of the sensitive data that companies have to handle, right?
Yeah.
The customer information, financial records, proprietary research.
All of that.
There's a lot on the line, right?
Yeah.
And so with Granite, what IBM has done that I think is really interesting and potentially groundbreaking is they're being very open about the data sources that they use to train their models.
Okay.
So they're using things like publicly available academic papers,
Interesting.
U.S. patents, legal documents,
Right.
stuff that, it's already out there. It's publicly available. And it's information that's vetted,
Yeah.
trustworthy.
Right.
So businesses can feel confident using these models, knowing that they've been trained on,
Hmm.
ethically sourced data.
Yeah, that's huge, especially right now with all the concerns around data privacy
Exactly.
and how AI models are being trained.
Right.
Because a lot of times it's kind of a black box. Yeah.
It is a black box. Yeah, and this is IBM kind of trying to break out of that.
Totally.
And say, hey, we're going to be transparent. You're going to know exactly what's going into these models,
Right.
which I think is a really positive step.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we've talked about performance, we've talked about trust. One of the things that I was really interested in from the stuff that you sent is the range of applications for these models.
Oh.
Because you sent stuff about language processing, about code generation, even geospatial analysis and time series forecasting. So it seems like the potential applications for these Granite models is pretty broad.
It is. It is really broad.
So can you give us an example of what that might look like in the real world?
Yeah, absolutely. So imagine you're a global retail company, right?
Right.
You have customers all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You could use a Granite model to power your entire customer service platform.
Wow.
So this AI could seamlessly handle inquiries in multiple languages.
Okay.
It could understand and respond to complex questions, and it could even anticipate customer needs based on, their past purchase history, for example. And all of this is possible because these models are trained on such a diverse range of data that they're able to adapt to all these different tasks and really understand the nuances of different industries.
Okay, so it's not just understanding language. It's actually like understanding
Context, intent, nuance.
Wow.
All that.
Okay, so it sounds like, IBM's Granite models really do offer a compelling solution for companies that are, kind of on the fence about AI, where they're trying to figure out how to implement it in a way that makes sense for them.
That's too,
Yeah.
especially given that focus on
Right.
focusability, on transparency, on ethics,
Right.
which I think more and more we're seeing. That's what people are looking for.
It makes you wonder, is this commitment to transparency,
Right.
could this become the industry standard
Yeah.
moving forward?
It's definitely possible, right? As AI becomes more powerful, as we use it in more and more ways in our lives, I think that transparency, that openness is really going to be essential for people to trust it, to use it, to feel comfortable with it.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a really, really fascinating dive into IBM's Granite models.
It's really interesting stuff.
I'm really curious to see how this all plays out.
Me too.
But for now, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your expertise with us.
Happy to be here.
All right. And thanks to all of you for listening. This is something to think about, something to pay attention to, because AI is not going anywhere. It's only going to become more central to the way we live and work. So until next time.